Hey, Lillian.
Hi,
Hello.
Robert. Hi, Maria. Welcome to week 7 of the 90-day Heartmate Consciousness Experiment. And things are moving along. So how are you guys doing?
Very well. Thank you.
Doing well. Is it getting warmer where you are?
Very hot. Yes, it is very hot here.
I'm in California in Huntington Beach, and we finally, a couple days ago, I think it was Friday, I was like, finally, it feels like summer. It's finally starting to get warm. It's been so cold where you've had to leave every day with your jacket. So it's been a nice, I can't really complain because
Yeah, that's a good change.
parts of the country have it, California is really, we don't have anything to complain in terms of weather, but I'm just saying it's nice to finally have the warmer weather here. So we'll wait a couple minutes just to give people, I usually like to start, about 5 minutes past, give everyone a chance to get in. Fantastic. So why don't we start off with, I know, Rob, you've been traveling throughout the country. And
I have been traveling.
yeah, and what's it been like traveling with, it's Stevie, right?
Correct. Stevie's right here. She's sleeping right now, but I'll show her when we get more people here. Oh,
Okay.
here she is. You've had a full day.
Ah,
I don't know if you can see it.
nice.
So-
Beautiful.
It's such a cute little,
So
It's hard
cute.
to see without much light, but yeah, she's a doll to travel with. So, she sleeps when I drive for the most part. And then every few hours, a couple hours, we get out and we play and we walk and do whatever. So it's just been a real joy to be with her. It's been arduous. It's been not, maybe arduous is the wrong word. It's been, they've been full days. I've had lots of time with her. She requires constant attention, which I'm glad to give to her. So my heart is full. My whole life is just so fucking cool right now.
that's so wonderful, so awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it really makes you be in touch with your open heart, and you're aware of it all day long.
Yeah.
Because, it's a 24/7 thing with her.
I've had more oxytocin in my blood in the last 2 weeks than I've had in the last 20 years.
Oh, how wonderful. And
Yeah.
and that's wonderful. And you got to share that also with your grandkids last week. So that's really awesome.
I landed here in Syracuse where my son is. So now I've been from Portland on the West Coast to Syracuse. And I was with my daughter, my granddaughter, the whole part up to this point. And now I get to be with my son and his partner. And then I'll go on and see other family here. So my life is cool. And I travel across country during that heat wave that many people, they set records like throughout almost every place that I traveled through.
Wow.
So that was an experience too, being in a van, not really wanting to be outside of the van, and because it was just so hot and so, uncomfortable for us to be outside the van, even though we did it anyway to be outside.
Wow.
So it's been a full week. So
Wow. Fantastic.
Maria, where do you live?
I live in Mexico. I live in Playa del Carmen, in the south of Cancun.
Okay, I imagine it is warm there.
It's very hot.
Yeah.
Isn't Playa del Carmen close to Cancun?
Yes, it's close to Cancun.
I thought it was the same thing, but I guess one's a
No, it's about 60 miles.
There's how many?
60 miles.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that far away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. So Playa del Carmen is basically 60 miles. That's at least an hour drive. So that's a significant.
Yes, it's about an hour drive from the airport to here.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, I'm sure it's beautiful. Trying to get Terry's just arriving. I actually went to Playa del Carmen and Quintana Roo and that whole area. It's just so gorgeous. I mean, You're so blessed to live in Playa del Carmen.
Yes.
I could easily find myself buying a place, you know, having
Yeah.
a home there because it really is beautiful.
No, it's really nice. It's very easy to live here.
I
That's what
believe-
I can describe it like this. It's a very easy life.
yeah, I believe you. Very cool. Terry, welcome, welcome. Great having you back
Hello.
on our week 7 of the 90-day heart rate consciousness experiment. And we were just talking about how this last week has been. We haven't done our reports or anything yet, but Rob was sharing, and I feel like it's a vicarious experience for us because he was sharing how wonderful it's been. He's full of oxytocin, traveling with Stevie, because she needs constant attention 24/7. So that's always fun and exciting. So how's your week been?
Interesting. A lot of synchronicities. Yeah, it's been pretty amazing. It's been a pretty week filled with oxytocin, endorphins, and all those good things.
So maybe, wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. This week has been very filled with lots of oxytocin and endorphins too. Okay, David's just joining us right now too, David Cation. So yeah, I think it's been an interesting, very cool week. Actually, it was a joke that I can't really repeat here. There were a couple of them, but I laughed the hardest I've laughed probably, it was actually yesterday, from all year. It was just like, I had to catch my breath. I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh my gosh. So this has been a very interesting and fun and exciting week. And I got to say for myself, I was talking to my best friend about some of it, and she's like, really? She's like, you don't know how this is happening? You're just running a 90-day heart rate consciousness experience, no less. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So definitely the numbers. I didn't have so many synchronicities with like objects or like other types of like signs. It was a lot more the numbers. It's like just a lot more. It's just like to the point of ridiculous, where every time you see a license plate, maybe a billboard with digital numbers, microwave oven, cell phone, even when you're not trying to, you open up email and then you see the time and it happens to be, 6:16, 3:13, 3:03, 3:33, 5:55. It's just like, it's to the point of where it's really ridiculous. So I'm like, okay, that's very cute. But let's go ahead and get started then with our 90-day heart rate consciousness experiment. I want to start us off with the PSMO method, because I think the PSMO method, first of all, I even though I explained it last week, I did goof it up where I skipped the, it's like if it were an Oreo, I missed the cream. Which is like, I was like so involved in telling you all the stuff about it that then I actually forgot to do it. And I had no idea that I missed it until Terry mentioned it. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. I think yeah, I did. I'm like, ah. So let's go ahead and do it again this time. It's something that I do every morning. It puts me in a fantastic mood. I think I mentioned to you guys, I did an experiment where for 2 weeks, I took out the third piece and I just did the first part, which is the physiological size, followed by the second part, which is the MANIOCULAR technique. And then I left out the lymphatic flush aspect of it with the willpower, thinking that it wouldn't be that much of a difference. And it makes a significant difference when you keep that part out. So when I received the intuitive hit and the download to put those 3 together, the way they were put together, it was obviously because that was the optimal integration of the 3, the basic 3 modalities, if you will, to get the maximum benefit out of it. So let's go ahead. Let's stand. I know that my sound isn't necessarily as clear. I'll talk a little bit louder, so I'll be standing a little farther back. But let's stand up. I won't go into the explanation since we are all familiar with that. And we also have a video in the playlist that explains what the PSMO method is and guides you through it. So So let's start off, and we are going to start with our physiological size. So the physiological size are 2 inhales followed by an exhale. So it's 2 quick inhales followed by an exhale. Let's begin. That's set 1. Set 2. Now the beginning of set 3. Now we'll do the maniocular technique. And if you recall, we do 3 sets of 10. You pick up your dominant hand. In my case, my dominant hand is my right hand. And I'm going to wave starting to the left. And I'm going to go 10 times. So and I'm going to follow. My head doesn't move. My eyes look at my knuckle. And I just follow left, right, left. So I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pause. Second set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pause. Third set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pause. Now the third portion is your lymphatic flush. And this is where the main thing is you're bouncing on the balls. I should go back. On the balls of your feet. Like a boxer. Boxers, as you notice, they're always on the balls of your feet. So that's part of the basis of this. You're doing a lymphatic flush as you bounce on each ball of the foot or both balls of your feet. That resistance pulls down, that gravitational pull basically forces your lymph system throughout your entire body to circulate. And so we're coupling it with 30 seconds of willpower. You stretch your hands as wide as you can. You're gonna hold them up. I can't get that on camera. I can't go far back enough. But you guys are gonna go, I'm gonna count to 30, and then we're gonna go the rest of the count with our fists in a victory pose. We're gonna count to 120 and then repeat it to 120 again. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Change to fist. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Start over to 120 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. And when you're doing this on your own, of course, you can count in your head or put a song that's 2 minutes long and then just do that for 2 minutes. Okay.
Holding your arms up. My arms really feel it.
Yeah, you do feel it. Yeah, you feel
shoulders,
it.
in the shoulders.
Yeah, and you feel your upper arms, your shoulders. It definitely does. Yeah, you feel it in your body, and you feel, things circulating in your body too.
Through the whole body.
Yeah, and you just feel more awake. And you just feel more energized, because you're doing that eye muscle movement. You're getting circulation going to your eyes and to your brain, and it just clears up all sorts of things, which it just automatically raises your vibe. So,
and that's different than the one you did the very first meeting that we had, where we were doing the hands open. What did you call that?
Well, it's the PSMO. The very first week we started off with the PSMO, and then we revisited it last week. I might do it at the beginning of each one of these sessions moving forward, because it really is an automatic vibe increaser where it just clears everything out, gives you brain clarity, gives you more energy. It kind of resets any negative emotion that you might have, because we have both the physiological size as well as the MANIOCULAR technique that's neutralizing all sorts of things. It's just an automatic, it's like a brain hack. So it's just a nice way to start these sessions, in my opinion. So I'm glad that you like it.
I liked it.
Yeah. So let's find out, everybody, how they did. There's, let me pull up the things that we're measuring so that we have something to focus on, and we can talk about the things that we're measuring. As you know, we're measuring synchronicities, the dreams, the people that we meet, the dates, and the connections. So who would like to go first? I'm going to do it by volunteers, and then I'll go from that person, then just go down the gallery until we get everybody.
I'll start.
All right.
But I'm not keeping track of any of this stuff, but I can tell you that my life is just very full of all the stuff that you mentioned and more. I've talked to more people, including women, and it's, it's all has to do, it doesn't have to do with Stevie, but Stevie is a big part of it. And here she is. I said I would bring her out when everybody was here. Again. And I know it's hard to see her because it's like she's so dark, and the lighting in here isn't very good. And anyway, well, look, my life has just been incredible. Just things are happening. You mentioned the stuff with the clocks, and just way beyond ridiculous. It's just like every time I look at something, there's a numerology kind of, it's just every time, I don't remember dreams, so that one is a big X right now for me. I haven't remembered dreams most of my adult life. And I've been with, I am just full, and my heart is full right now. And I wonder if, like, I should not, that I feel like I've won, I'm like, here, I've arrived with love in my heart from another being. And I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I'm looking for a human companion as well. But right now, I don't need, like, I'm just like, I'm fine. I'm just like good with that. So that's, in a nutshell, that's like been my life right now. It's been really hectic. I've driven 2,800 miles in the last 8 days. So I'm good. Thanks. Next.
Wow.
Where are you, Robert? Where are you at?
I'm in Syracuse currently. I arrived tonight at my son's house. I'm in their driveway. I'm mooch docking from my son, and a week ago I was mooch docking in my daughter's in Portland, Oregon. So that's like, I'm good. Check. That I checked. I'm checking boxes, and like right now my boxes are all checked.
So you're just like in a constant state of joy now.
Yeah.
Which is no wonder, like last week you were saying about how like like you're living the dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not without hardships. It's just that they're meaningless, you know? So cool.
You're like, ah, it's not that big a deal. It's like, yeah, you know, it's an inconvenience, but it's like you're so joyous that it's like there are small inconveniences, right?
Right. You know, the God of patience tests me and is like, he comes up wanting, or it comes up wanting. So.
Well, that is awesome. And what an awesome vibration to be in, because, you know, that really is part of, I think, all of our heart's desires, because at that type of vibrational level, think about, you know, birds of a feather flock together. So the type of person that you're going to be attracting is going to be in that same state. Otherwise, there's no way you could even come close to each other, because it would be a dissonant energy.
Right.
So this is, you know, this is really an awesome place to be, and congratulations. It's like, just keep going. You already know, you know what to do. You're doing fantastic. So you're inspiring all of us, and we can feel your joy, can't we, you guys? Don't you all feel his genuine, open-hearted joy, and how life is so just ooey gooey good?
Well, the other thing I started doing too was I listen to different things, and sometimes I grew up in the 70s, and so a lot of the songs that I really resonate with were the 70s, but a lot of the 70s music, I was kind of stuck in one genre. But I've been listening to like love songs of the 70s, you know, like pop love songs. Oh my God, I remember that song when I was in love with someone, you know, or like all these really cool memories from the songs I've been using to like feel that way again too. I'm like 20 years old again right now in this part of my life. I feel like really cool. So.
Well, you're looking like you're 20 years old, to be honest with you. You look very youthful. You look very invigorated, and you look joyous. So, you know, those are all very attractive traits. So how awesome. I'm really excited and very thrilled for you. So
Thanks.
Thanks for rubbing off on us.
Oh.
So Maria, you're next in the gallery view here. So we're going to go with you. Can you share with us, how was your past week? How are your signs, symbols, synchronicities, your dreams, people you met, any dates, connections?
Actually, I didn't have any new connection last week.
Okay.
That I recall. And life is just good. It's better every day. So it's not really something special, but much better every day. Much better every day in every sense.
Nice. Okay. So you have an overall feeling of well-being.
Yes.
Which is really fantastic. If you think about it, you know, this experiment is being, you know, as we're sitting here today, it's June 21st of 2021. So we're still in the middle of the pandemic. You know, they finally lifted off in the United States. And I know for California, they finally lifted the mask restrictions on the 15th, but a lot of the world is still not, you know, in a state of flow and easiness and so forth. So for you guys to be, you know, in such an elevated state of joy, Maria, you're feeling, you know, a nice ease and flow, state of well-being. You're in a beautiful location as well. That's something to be said, you know, in these days and times where that's not the general consensus of the world. So that's really awesome.
I think we are lucky to be here, because actually they never closed anything and nobody's wearing masks. They never. So it's optional, and it's not an obligation for anyone to do anything here. So it's actually a lot of freedom in that regard. So it's very,
that's wonderful.
I mean, we don't feel tension or anything in this area.
Yeah. So you don't have that constant reminder of seeing people in masks and people in an uneasy state. You're generally in a really good place. So that's really wonderful.
Actually, the past week, I haven't seen even people. I have been more quiet.
Oh, okay. So it's been a little bit more peaceful.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. Sometimes times for those are times that are actually built in for self-reflection sometimes. So very good. Is there anything else that you wanted to share or?
No, not really. I just have a question. These exercises that you have at the beginning, what is the recommendation to do it every day, every morning, in the night?
So
What is doing?
The PSMO method is a physiological sign maniocular technique, which is the purpose of it is to boost your energy. And if you have any kind of it, whether you have nervousness, anxiety, critical thinking, just bad thoughts and feelings, any unwanted negative feeling that you might feel in your mind or your body or both, it will instantly dissolve it and resolve it. And so that's what it's designed for. It's to basically boost your energy. You know, sometimes people are working long hours. They have, 8, 10, 12 hour, 14-hour shifts. And at the end of their work day, sometimes they start to lose energy. And it's really sometimes very difficult because some people have described to me where they feel like literally somebody pulled out the plug from the energy source and they're like just completely depleted, but they cannot go home. They cannot skip out early. They have to finish their work. And so, sometimes people have that as a result of jet lag, et cetera. So the bottom line is that whether you're suffering from just low energy, you're just depleted in your energy and you need to continue on with your day. You don't have the luxury of being able to lay down and take a nap or go to sleep, or you're just having an anxiety attack, nervousness, maybe critical thinking, judgmental, harsh words. Well, that can immediately be dissolved with this PSMO method. And then last year I discovered that just kind of it just occurred to me one day, it's like, hey, I should try this as a morning routine for myself, as opposed to just using it with my private clients. And that's where I discovered, I'm like, wow, this is a really great morning routine, because first thing when you wake up, you do the physiological sighs. I mean, my head's still on the pillow. It's as soon as my eyes begin to open that I'm starting to become awake, that I do the physiological sighs. Then I sit up, I do the maniocular technique. Then I get up and then I do the third portion, which is the willpower and the lymphatic flush for 2 minutes. And then I begin my day. So, and then I discovered that I was already happy, but I was even happier. And so I realized after a couple of weeks, it's like the thing that was making me happier, because nothing in my life had really changed to warrant me being so much happier. And I realized, oh, it's my doing the PSMO in the morning as a morning routine. And then I experimented with taking off the third part, as I mentioned before. And I saw I didn't see as the results were more magnified when I did the entire PSMO method. So if you go to week 1 of this 90-day heart made consciousness experiment, you'll see that we talk about it in week 1. And then there's a video that's linked at the end of that video that gives you the PSMO method, so you can watch that separately. And that explains a little bit more about some of the science and the medicine, the health aspects that are tied to the neuroscience.
Lillian, do you meditate?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I meditate.
When do you work that into your routine? Do you do that every day?
I do that every day. Usually every morning and every night.
You meditate?
Yeah, I meditate every morning and every night. Sometimes I'll do some during the middle of the day, but usually every morning and every night. Yeah.
Do you meditate after you do your exercising like that?
I do the PSMO method first, and then I go into a meditation. And then at night, I do my meditation in the evening, right before I go to sleep. So that's my MO. And then in the morning after I do my meditation, then I have a small workout that I do that's not too long. And then I start my day. I like to start my day kind of slowly and kind of like ease into my day very gently. Wake up and just gently ease into my day. And I tend to be more creative in the, like the afternoon through the evening until the early hours of the morning, as opposed to, there's some people that are very creative and productive, like early part of the day. If I have to, I will, but that's not my natural rhythm. But I did that for 25 years. So now I don't have to, I do. want to, the way that's more in my way I want to, and it feels good to me. So yeah, so I wake up, I do the PSMO method, like I mentioned to you guys. Then I go into my meditation. Usually nine out of 10 times it's a Dr. Joe meditation. Every now and then I'll do my own. I do a lot of my own meditate, like smaller versions that they're not as systemized as his. Because you know, as you listen to a lot of his meditations, you can kind of follow. There's certain patterns, right? So and there's all sorts of different types of meditations, as you guys know. Like there's walking meditations, which he teaches us to do. But I started doing Tai Chi and Qigong, which is a walking meditation. Sometimes I do those where you don't do that with music or anything. You just do that out in nature. You could be walking around the block in your neighborhood. You could be out on the beach. You could be, in a park. It doesn't matter where. So yeah. Okay. So we're going to go on to the next person. Terry, you're right. You're listed here right after Maria. Tell us about your week and tell us about your signs, symbols, synchronicities, your dreams, your people you met with, your dates, your connections.
You also want me to check in regarding the money that we gave away. I know that was 2 weeks ago, but
if you still
I gave mine away later. What's that?
Yeah, if you still have things that are coming forth from that Moneyball exercise.
Yeah, I shared that with you, but not with everyone else. So I needed to get into the dentist. He had a long waiting list. I called, they said 4 months. Then he calls back in 2 hours and said, we got a cancellation, come right in. So they did an x-ray. It wasn't exactly the way the dentist wanted it. So the dentist didn't charge me for that x-ray. It was enough for her to see what the problem was, but she didn't charge me $149. So there was a savings right there. Wow. Then I went to my post office box and a charge I disputed. The credit card company said they're giving me a credit. That was another $42. And then there was a wedding on the property where I live. And they said, do you want to take the recycle cans in? I said, sure. So there's another $22. So I was happy. Oh, and the funny thing is, when we met last week, Lillian said, do you have any movement on that? And I said, no, but the week's not over yet. 7 days hits on Wednesday. So that money came in from Monday night till Tuesday night. In 24 hours, all those things happened.
Wow.
After last week. Yeah.
Whoa.
Then I was on a meditation yesterday. I meet with a miracle group, and one of the ladies visioned that money was falling from heaven all around me. And that's the exact picture I have in my mind movie for Dr. Joe. I was just like, oh my gosh.
That is so cool that she saw that.
And then another win was I've been dabbling, well, not dabbling, I've been serious about it, learning about self-hypnosis. And during a workshop last week, I had an awareness about a deep core wound that happened when I was a baby that I've been carrying all these years. So I did some energy work around that to release it. And I feel like my heart is so much more open. I just feel like I've been refreshed. And that's why I think I've just felt so buoyant ever since that happened, which I think was Wednesday of last week. I just feel buoyant, like there's even more room for love and awareness. So that was really cool. And then a couple of weeks ago, I invited 2 friends of mine to have dinner with me yesterday. And when they arrived, they're like, they got engaged. So
what happened?
They got engaged.
They got engaged? You have a lot of wedding bells, and wow, that's amazing. So they got engaged?
Yes, they're both in their 50s. Neither one has been married before.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and they just got engaged and they were so cute together and so happy, and it was so fun to be in that energy.
Oh, you're celebrating that. That is so interesting because you were just celebrating in the wedding tent that was on your property last week. And now you have this thing, it's like, whoa, you have that very, very close to you, like on your property. And then even when you leave to meet with friends, they're getting engaged and sharing that celebration with you. Wow.
Oh, and again, I keep having more men friend me on Facebook. I just start laughing. It's happening so much now. It just makes me smile when that happens. And also the numbers on the clocks, like I keep getting, 111 or 2222. So that's really interesting to keep seeing all those sequences of numbers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. Oh my gosh, Terry, that is awesome. Wow. That's a lot to report. Very cool. All righty. Is there anything else, or are you, is that,
I think that's it.
that's quite a bit. That's cool how you had all that money, you know, it's almost a couple $100 that,
Mhm.
from that money ball. So
And
very,
I had faith too. And you said, have you gotten an answer? I'm like, well, it hasn't been a week yet. I've still got 2 more days to go. Give me,
yeah.
I want my 2 extra days so I can have money come in, and in it came.
And it came in the most unexpected ways too. That is awesome. Very cool. Very cool. All right. David, you are next.
Well, let's see, it's been a week. So as far as synchronicities, this struck me as interesting. I'm in a men's group, and I picked the topic, and I was leading the topic. It was about how the body and the mind are connected, and there were questions about how do you connect with your body and your mind, and then if you were the watcher. So anyway, that topic, I found that important and interesting. And then I bought this book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which I bought a year ago, which I read is how I came into Joe's work. And so, and I'm going camping in a few days. I'm going to about 100 miles from here in Missouri to Mark Twain State Park. I have a camper, so I wanted to get used to this. So I went and stayed in my camper. I brought this book out. I thought I'm going to read some book. So I opened it up, and the page that I came to was, does your mind control your body, or does your body control your mind? As far as the synchronicity, that just hit me. Like, that is incredible, because it's something that hasn't really become clear to me. And I thought, well, it was Joe's work, and then we were working on it. And anyway, it hit me like, wow, that is crazy. Today, I did some work for these people a couple of months ago. We did some work in their basement. We built a closet, did some trim. And so these other people want to do some more work. So I used the same model on the computer. So I was going to write up a contract. What was crazy was the people address were the same digits. One was 1333 and the other one was 3313 or something, but it was the three threes and 1 and I thought, that is so incredibly unusual.
That
So
is.
I didn't get the meaning of it. I mean, these are in 2 totally different sections of the area I live in. So it's like, wow, that's incredible. So as far as synchronicities, that hit me as well. I thought, man, that's great. And so let's see. As far as dates, I haven't had any dates. I did ask a lady out. So I'm in the ski club. There's a local ski club, and we had a happy hour. And this friend, she asked me to take the picture, so I take the pictures. And this lady, I used to dance, and there haven't been any dances around here for a year and a half since COVID. I said, well, you can come to the dance. So I decided to go ahead and rent this hall in Chatham, which is actually where I live. It's little. So anyway, but it's not like you can show up. You have to bring somebody. So anyway, I asked this lady, she wanted to go. She wasn't able to. But, so I made it, and it was kind of neat that the dancing is, I wouldn't say it's opening up. There used to be dance lessons and things like that here. Right now, they probably open up. Things are just
Starting to open.
Yeah, I think I mentioned I'm in the. We just finished our covenant group, which is tonight, just before this meeting. That's the last one we're having this year.
Oh.
There were, it's mostly women that are in it. We've done it since last September. Anyway, I don't know if there's synchronicities there, but it was nice to everyone. It was all by Zoom, so everyone seemed to enjoy. We picked different topics, and tonight's topic was the pandemic. Kind of interesting. So we ended that. It's a new year. This fella just brought back a tool, and another tool. So today's like, I think, the first day of summer. It's like, sometimes things, I don't know why they all happen on the same day. They do. So I'm kind of rambling, but it's just interesting to me how when things happen. And I did want to ask you a question, Lillian. You were talking about you have your routine. So one of the things, so yesterday was Father's Day, and my son lives in New York, and I don't see him. And my daughter did take me out to eat, but that was just for a little while. So a part of me felt kind of disheartened and not particularly upbeat. And I do my water, I still do my water, and it did rain here Friday, and I was able to harvest some rain, which I was excited about. But I found myself thinking, what do you say to this bottle of water? It seemed like, so I'm looking for the heartmate. And it's like, a part of me struggled with that. And you were talking like you have your routine, you get up in the morning and you do your exercise and you do your meditation. So, and this is, and I'm stuck in many of my ways. I do many things like that as well. I get up in the morning and I meditate, and I do it religiously. And it's like, well, as far as a heartmate, that isn't necessarily always going to fit in. In other words, it used to be like when you met somebody, you might want to make love first thing in the morning, not go out there and meditate or something like that. So maybe I'm overthinking, but the thoughts go into my mind that how one might fit in to one's life. It's kind of like you just go. I go a lot, and so it's like you have to make space and you have to make room.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, and yeah, that kind of without question, when your heartmate does show up in your life, and then eventually you start to, first you're dating, you're seeing to, it's a checks and balance to see if this union will work, right? And if there's an alignment of values and enough common interests and so forth, and those things that are important to you and to them, to see if you can, make a life together. And then there's going to come a point where you're actually going to physically be together and be living under the same roof. And so, there are some routines that the ones that are, the real important ones to you, you're not going to want to give those up. And then some of them you might have to change somewhat, to make room, obviously, for that person, because you want that person in your life. So, and I think it's when it comes to that, I think we, in my mind's eye and the way I think and feel about it is that I feel that I have to kind of become kind of like water, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to give up my meditation. So I'm going to still do my meditations, but maybe I won't do them, immediately. I mean, in a perfect world, I would do them when I first wake up, or maybe I'll wake up, earlier so that I'll do the meditation, then go back to sleep and then wake up with them. That's a possibility too. There's nothing written in stone. So, I mean,
as far as living under the same roof, when I got divorced, I offered my wife, I said, we should get a condo and you live in one side. I live in the other. She didn't want to go for it, but I kind of like that idea, but it didn't work out.
No, but yeah, it's like, it's like anything else. Cause right now, you don't know, I don't know what that other person's routine is like and so forth. So you kind of, it's one of those things that you do have to make room for them. I've heard certain teachers say that, you should have room in your closet. You should have, like if you have a bed and you have a nightstand, you don't want to have both nightstands filled up with stuff. You have your nightstand that you have your belongings on, and then you leave the other one empty so that when that person comes into your life, that's the space that they're going to occupy. They'll put their books, their change, their reading glasses, whatever. They'll put that in that particular nightstand, as opposed to you occupying both of them. And I think that there's something when it comes to the actual energy, it's not just a superstition kind of a thing, but if you look in nature and if you look at how the entire universe, both on planet Earth as well as outer space, it works. The universe doesn't like a void. Whenever there's a void or an empty hole anywhere, it fills it up with something. And that's not just true with physical, tangible objects and so forth, but it's also with all sorts of other different things too. So wherever you have, if you have space or you have a void, you know, something's going to come fill it, you know, something as ethereal as time, you know. A lot of people say, and I sometimes say that, you know, time doesn't really exist, because if you think about it, we're in this moment right now. It's, I don't know what time it is. Let's say my cell phone says it's 7:49. I know that for Terry, isn't it 5:49 for you or 4:49 for you? You know, it's 3 hours earlier for
Yes,
those.
9:49 for me.
Yeah, and it's 9:49 for you because you're 2 hours later, but yet it's all the same time. So, you know, we know that a clock is a man-made construct, that, you know, man has created not only digital devices, but, you know, circular clocks and so forth to show the passage of time so that two people can agree when this is saying 7 p.m., we'll both agree to be there at 7 p.m. But that being said, as you have more, you know, if your day is so full, and I'm guilty, you know, I will confess to being a recovering A personality type. I mean, I used to book my days so, I mean, it was like a lot of my friends would look at my Franklin planner and go, oh my gosh, how could you possibly keep track of that volume of stuff and get that many things done? And to me, it wasn't a question. It was like, those are the things that I decided that we're going to get done. And I never got them all done, but I eventually got them all done. But it's like a perpetual list. And the thing is, you have to have, you know, you have to have space in your, whether you have an itinerary or whether you have a schedule, you do have to have space in your schedule to have downtime where it's not a compulsive, compelling, pushing energy, whether it's coming from inside you or from outside of you to do something. Because the act of taking time to create space to have quote unquote nothingness, which in a sense, when you're meditating, it's kind of what you're doing. You're creating this block of time. You're allowing yourself to come into this quiet space where you all the externals are quieted out. All the doing from a physical perspective is put on pause. And now you're just tuning in with yourself, with your heart. You're getting into heart and brain coherence. You're one with the creator, one with the divine. And then whether you come with the intention to create something specific, like a heart mate, or you're coming to just meet with the divine and just feel that incredible love and be open to a mystical experience. I mean, you can have a mystical experience on your, you know, as you intend to create a heart mate or a healing or manifest money or a car, a vacation, it doesn't matter. It can happen at any time, but just having that open space where you were just one with the one allows the opportunity for other things that you could have never planned for. And so as we're moving forward, you know, I mean, to me, there's a certain, and again, I'm confessing that I'm an A personality type. So I know I no longer identify myself by the volume and the number of things that I accomplish and the tasks that I do, but I will say that I get a great deal of satisfaction of getting a lot of things done. With that being said, I also recognize that I wasn't born, you know, so that by the time I die, they'll say, oh, look at everything she did. Wow, she did X number of things in her lifetime. That's not my purpose. My purpose was not to check all these boxes off and finishing, you know, all these. I'm not supposed to be a gopher, right? There's also, I've recognized that there is a great deal of joy and satisfaction in just being in that calm place where I'm just, whether I'm meditating or whether I'm contemplating, you know, I might just be staring out at the trees, you know, outside my window from, you know, from this room or from my kitchen or from my dining room or from whatever room, you know, in this home. I might just walk to the beach, no agenda. I'm walking to the beach. My eyes need to see the water and I just need to just stare at the water. And I'm not.
So Lillian, you brought a lot of people together here in this group. So you have great leadership qualities and you're helping a lot of people. And I mean, so obviously that must be one of the things that brings joy to you because
Yes.
you appear to be very good at it, and you're excelling at it. So
Thank you. Yeah, and I do have a lot of joy. I really look forward to this every Monday. I'm automatically excited about it. It's like, okay, what are we going to reveal? I know I have certain things that I know that I'm going to be sharing and processes that we're going to go through to keep moving us forward week by week. But I'm always excited to hear what it is that each and every one of you are going to share, because it's always a surprise, and it's always a neat interaction. And so, yeah, for me, it is, to me, this is like one of my highlights of the week, is being able to do this 90-day HeartMate experiment. So yeah, for sure.
which you created.
Yeah, I did create it, but I really feel it was a co-creation, because I feel that, yeah, I received the download and the image, and I saw what the outcome was going to be. However, I also feel, and I kind of have a knowingness that you guys who are participating here, that are not just you guys that are on this live Zoom, but the ones who are participating, who watch this later and then report back, you guys were all looking for something like this. And so my desire to fulfill the receipt of that information and to move with that intuitive hit, so to speak, it was a co-creation. It's no different than, it's like, okay, a couple years ago, I knew that I needed to buy a car, wasn't really ferreted on buying. I had had Lexus before, so I'm like, I'm not so sure that I want to buy another Lexus. I want to maybe break out of the mold and do something different. My last 3 cars had been Lexus. I'm like, I'm open to something new. And I'm like, not necessarily convinced on any one particular brand, but I'll go out there and check. And nonetheless, the car that I ended up buying, it's like, that's a co-creation, because there's a certain car, I like white cars, I like sports cars and things like that. So the person who designed my car, they had the download to create that car with whatever features and so forth. And I wanted a car with certain features, even though I wasn't hooked on a particular model per se. But that's a co-creation, because what good does it do anybody if you create somebody and there's no consumers for it?
Did you get a Tesla?
No, I actually looked at Teslas. I came very close to getting a Tesla. I ended up with a Mercedes, only because I was just thinking about this yesterday. It's like, wow, I wasn't really planning on looking at Mercedes at all. And I had a great car, incredible deal. I couldn't say no to it. I'm like, okay, I guess it was the divine choice. And that's the car that I've been driving for the last couple of years, and I enjoy the car. And so, yeah, but anyhow, so it's like, I really believe that we are co-creators. We're creating certain things, and there are people who want what it is either that we're providing, or sometimes we want to have a certain experience, because, I'm single at the moment, and so I was looking also to create my HeartMate experience. I thought I was going to do it on my own until I saw the Superhuman Invisible Made Visible film. And then I received that strong intuitive vision and hit. And I realized, I wonder if some people on the Dr. Joe group might be interested in, I go, what if I could get 10 people that would be interested? That might be fun to do. And I thought that could be pretty spectacular. And I thought, wow, if this really is what's supposed to be, I'm like, okay, let's check it out. And then the rest is history. You guys know what happened. It was like in 33 minutes, which is funny that you mentioned the 33 number, but in 33 minutes, we had well over 10 people. And I think it was within the first 48 hours, there were like over 400 inquiries on that Dr. Joe group and another Dr. Joe Facebook group that I'm part of. And then I never counted. I don't know if I will go back and count how many inquired through YouTube. Because at that point, it kind of becomes irrelevant. Maybe I will count them eventually at some point, but at this point, we're just moving forward. So yeah, the bottom line is that the universe does, it doesn't like a void. So if there's something like you're making room for a person in your house, for them to come into your life, you do want to have space in your home, in your environment for them. So don't completely occupy every square inch. You want to keep a little bit of openness, which is going to happen. You know, of course you would make space for that person, you know, whether they're going to be at your place or vice versa, but the universe hates a void. So, and that's part of, it's a money principle too, which we haven't talked a lot about. But when we did the money ball experiment, part of that process at the end is the bill, whether it's a 20, a 50, or 100, doesn't matter. That bill that you were sending energy to, that you saw that was glowing and that was energized, part of the last piece was you have to spend it or invest it, depending on how you want to think about it. You either have to spend or invest it, and then, you know, within 24 hours. So you have to let go of the money, because money has to be able to flow into your experience and flow out. If you hold on to all of it for fear that you're going to lose it or that you're not going to get more, that stops the flow. And the thing is, love is the same way. One of the realizations that I had at the beginning of my divorce, I recognized that the energy of love, you have to be able to give love, and that love needs to be received by the person that you are, whoever your object of affection is. They have to be able to receive the love, and then they need to be able to give you love, and you need to be able to receive the love. And that keeps the energy flowing. It's an energy that goes between the two of you, because you're giving and receiving, you know, all the time. If I give you love and you cannot receive it and you're pushing me away, well, first of all, that feels bad to me, because I'm giving you love and I'm getting stonewalled, I'm getting gaslit, I'm getting pushed away. That doesn't feel good. You know, when somebody gives you a gift, the gracious thing is to receive it. But some people simply cannot receive for whatever reason. That's not something that we're going to dive in today, but for whatever reason, they can't receive it. So that's a stop. So the same thing, if somebody gives me love and I can't receive it, then that's a stop. That's a block. So things are not going to continue to flow, you know, in all areas. If I'm blocking, stopping, you know, as a woman, for example, some women think it's like, oh, okay, if a man throws her a compliment, you know, or an arrow, or, you know, it could just be a smile and a gaze and a look. It might be a wave. In any way, shape, or form that a man pays attention to a woman, some women think that if they pay any attention to that type of interaction, that's inviting the guy to something more. And that's not necessarily true. I think that as a woman, you could be gracious and you can accept the kind compliments of a man without encouraging things to go far beyond other than a nice compliment. So for example, like yesterday, it was really funny. I went and I got my car washed, and I had just gotten a pedicure done. And as I got out of my car, it was so unexpected, because the guy who helped open the door at the car wash immediately, he said, "Hi, madame." And he said, "Oh my gosh, you have such beautiful toes," which I did not expect, even though I just had my toes done, you know, pedicure. I thought, oh, like, why, thank you. Made me laugh, made me smile. I said, that is so sweet of you to say that. And I told him the truth. What I was thinking was, I did not expect that. I told him, I did not expect that, but thank you, because you made me smile. I'm like, I love this car wash. I'm going to have to come back just because you complimented my toes. Now, I don't know if most women would say that. Doesn't matter. The thing is, it made me smile. I was able to receive the compliment. I didn't think he was, you know, trying to be overtly flirtatious. I think he was just paying me a kind compliment. I received it. Then I walked into this first time I go to this car wash. Turns out it's like a nice high-end boutique, which I thought, I really love this car wash. Now I can spend my time shopping, and at the very least window shopping. They had, you know, women's clothing, they had men's clothing. They even had like a toy section. If I'm going to a birthday party, I could pick up a birthday gift for children under the age of, I'd say, 10 or 12. And I thought, wow, what a cool shop. Housewares, like a little home, like a Homes. It was like a combination Homes Good meets Saks Fifth Avenue. And I thought, what a nice, you know, car wash. Then apparently I forgot to give the keys. I have a fob for my car. So of course it's in my purse. So then another guy came back in and found me in the boutique, and he said, "Oh, we need your keys. We need your keys." He goes, "Oh, by the way," he goes, "you have beautiful toes." I'm like, "That's the second guy." I said, "No way. Oh my gosh. Like, you guys are too much. You're the second guy." I go, "Thank you so much. You just made me laugh again. This is wonderful." I'm like, "I can't believe this. This never happens." So I was just, floating on cloud nine. And so those two guys made my, I was already happy, but now I'm like super happy. And then as luck, I don't know, it must have been something about my vibe, because I got to the cashier and there were two girls. And as soon as I walk up, the cashier said, "Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful." It must be because I was laughing my butt off. So I was like, "What is it with this car wash?" So I told her, "Oh my gosh, that is so kind of you." I'm like, "I love this car wash. I will be back. It's called Russell Car Wash." I said, two, not one, two of your guys just complimented me on my toes. And both of them said, "You have beautiful toes." And then both of the girls looked at each other. Are you kidding me? And I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my gosh, men will be men." So that whole time at that car wash, I was laughing and I was like bubbly and I was excited. And then of course, I was also excited because I knew that I actually had a date at 5:30 that I was going to. So I was already, in a positive vibe for that. But I thought, it's like, those are compliments from guys that were, innocent compliments. There's no need for me to go, "Oh, I'm not interested, don't flirt with me, don't pay me compliments." No, it's like, I think it's a feminine thing to receive, whatever compliments they give you for whatever reason, and, but not all, I know that not all women, I know women who sometimes are offended. And I go, there's issues that are going on that would keep you from being able to receive a compliment. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay.
Yes. How was your date? How was your date?
My date was fun. It was fun. It was, he was very comical, very conversational, very relational. Turns out we thought when we first spoke, we thought that we knew like two or three people of the same people. And then once we met for dinner, interestingly enough, this book author, Steve Dexter, who wrote a book back during the recession of 2008, he wrote a book about beating the banks and basically about real estate investing. So as luck would have it, his wife is walking down the sidewalk. We're sitting on the outside. We're on Laguna Beach. And so we're sitting on the outside and I see this lady. I'm going, "That lady looks like Susan." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I just got a PM from Steve earlier this week." So I was thinking about her. And then she goes, "Lillian, is that you?" And I said, "Susan Dexter?" She goes, "Yes." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "Where's Steve?" She goes, "Right behind me. He's coming right behind me." And sure enough, then Steve caught up. So what was funny was when we sat down at this restaurant, the guy that I went out with, he knew the restaurant owner, and all these different people kept on coming up to him, talking to him, recognizing him, blah, blah. And so then I had Susan and then Steve show up. So then I introduced them. So then as we kept on talking, it turns out that we know like 20 or 30, maybe more people that are all in, related to the, lending industry, real estate industry, yada, 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 Huntington Beach, Newport Beach area. So it's like, wow, we know a lot of the same people, worked with the same people. How we never met before, I have no idea. Anyhow, but it was a fun, had a great time. So yeah. So about my report, let's, since we're talking about the date that I went on yesterday, I actually had all of a sudden, like Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm not sure which day it was, but Tuesday, Wednesday, all of a sudden I had I counted 11 and then I started, deleting some, but I had like 9, 10, 11 guys that were engaging, talking, asking a bunch of questions and so forth. And then I had 3 of them who wanted to do video calls. And so I did 3 video calls, and then 1 I eliminated. And then there's 2 that are remaining, and there's some others that have come forth. But in the meanwhile, I ended up, like I said, going out on this one date, and I'm supposed to go out again with this gentleman next weekend. So we'll see
Is
what-
this through a dating site?
No, this is just Facebook.
Oh,
Just-
Facebook.
Yeah, just through Facebook, because I tried the dating sites at the beginning of the year. I think I had them for like 60 days and then I just deleted them. I'm like, no, this is just not resonating with me. It's just not working. I had some friends that really encouraged me to get on them, hairdresser, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just like meeting people the old fashioned way, you know, face to face, kind of where as you go.
I always call it boots on the ground.
Yeah, boots on the ground. Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually I did, I almost forgot. That's so funny. I did something I never do because I have one of my friends, he lives in San Diego, no romantic interest or anything with him, but he goes to bars all the time. And I'm not a club type girl. I don't really frequent bars or anything. Even restaurants that have bars, you know, I could sit at the bar, but if I sit at the bar, it's usually I have like a friend with me, right? So this time I decided, I think it was on Tuesday, it was Surf City Nights. We have an open air, like Surf City Nights, where they close the downtown area. So from the pier to like the first couple blocks, you have all these vendors and it's a really fun thing to do. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go to Coach's Grill. I haven't been there in several years and I'm going to be daring. Instead of sitting at a table, I'm going to sit at the bar. Just to try something different because I know their food is good. So I sat at the bar and of course I had a few guys that came up and it was the third guy that came up that I ended up engaging in more conversation. I had one that was sitting to my right, but eventually the one on my left caught more of my attention. And so I ended up talking to him for a while. And then of course he asked me for my number. I did give him my number, but I know that nothing's going to go there because he's still at the tail end of his divorce. And so I said, you know what? It's like I found that it's better to just, that's kind of a difficult period that you're going through. It's better to just stick to people who their divorce is final. It's done and over with. And it's been, you know, at least, you know, 6 months to a year or longer. So that was that. But so that was a nice little, you know, interaction with a gentleman, good looking gentleman and all as well. But yeah, so there's like, it just seemed like all of a sudden, I don't know what happened between Tuesday and Wednesday where it just like the energy, it's like when it rains, it pours. So that's kind of what was going on this week. I thought, okay, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep moving forward. That's all you can do because nothing's really clear at this point. It's just that there's more activity and it could all disappear tomorrow and whole fresh new crop or a new, you know, you just don't know. So it's like, at this point, I'm just focusing on joy.
Lillian, when you said you're using Facebook, you don't mean the Facebook app. There's a dating app on Facebook. That's not what you're referring to, is it?
Yes, it is a Facebook dating app. It is on
Okay.
Facebook and it was a Facebook dating app. And I changed, the only thing I did was change my age because I always put on social media that I was born in 1901. Well, because, and I'll tell you why I did this. When I had a lot of resistance actually to getting on Facebook when I first got on Facebook was back in 2000. I want to say it was 2005 or 6. No, it was actually probably 2006 because before that I wasn't on because I just didn't want to waste my time on social media. And eventually the brokers that I had working for me, it's like, you know, for your business, you really need to get on there, blah, blah, blah. So I did get on there, but because I dealt with a lot of identity theft with my clients and my investors, I'm like, I'm not putting my exact birthday and my home, linking myself up to all my relatives. And it's like, that's everything is right there that you need to do the dirty deed. So, so I've never put, and I've always told my kids the same thing. Always put, you know, you could put 1950 or 1901. It doesn't matter. The point is that's not your birth year. And, and then, so the bottom line is the only thing I changed, and it's still not the accurate date, but it's closer to the vicinity of my age. So I just put that on my app, and because I had gotten on the dating app before, but there was like nothing in any, we're talking 0000. So that's the only thing I did. It's like, I'm like, well, I really would like to keep 1901 so it's uniform on all social media. However, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to change this one. I'll tweak it here a bit, and I'm not going to change anything else. That's all I did. So that's all I did. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I do still prefer to meet people on a, just like David was saying, you know, boots to the ground, where you could be at the supermarket, you could be at the car wash. I mean, you could pretty much be anywhere, because you get a certain feel for a person just by seeing them face to face. So we'll see what happens. So we're going to do a process. It's called the McPoint's method. And as you may or may not know, there are basically 12 emotional blocks that have been identified by researchers in psychology and psychiatry. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. I have 4 of these per card. There's angry, sad, afraid, sorry, jealous, hurt, scared, ashamed, frustrated, disappointed, worried, embarrassed. So those are, I'm going to hold them all up at the same time so that you can see them all together. I want you to, on a piece of paper, I want you to write down the 4. Doesn't matter from which of the 3 cards. These are not, they're not grouped in any particular way. It's just a list. Okay. So pick the 4 that resonate with you as being the most challenging for you. And
You mean in general or in dating? Like,
no, I would say in your overall life.
okay.
Yeah, in your overall life, you know, as a general challenge, is it anger, sadness, being afraid? Are you sorry? You know, a lot of women have the habit of saying, I'm sorry all the time, even when they're not really sorry, but they're sorry all the time. They're always saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, even when they don't need to say they're sorry. Well, you're giving your power away if you're always sorry, even if you don't really mean to be sorry, because that means that you did something wrong and you should be in sorrow for what you did. That's out of congruent. That's out of integrity. You know, you're not being truthful to yourself and you're giving your power away. So oftentimes and I had that bad habit, believe it or not, when I was younger. Everything was, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's like, no, I don't need to be sorry. I'm fine. It's like, it's totally okay. So just the 4 that you think are the most, that are the biggest issue for you. For some people, jealousy is a constant thing. Hurt, scared. Some people are afraid of everything all the time. Some people are constantly disappointed. And you could be addicted to any of these emotions, as we know from Dr. Joe's work. So write down the 4 when you raise your hand when you've written all the 4. Okay. 2 people, two more to go. Okay. So this McPoint's method, you're going to recognize parts of this. And this is a neurosomatic process. And just so that a little recap about what the 8 neurosomatic processes and systems of the body, which are, your brain keeps track of all of these. And there's visual, there's auditory, there's kinesthetic, there's olfactory, there's gustatory. We also have proprioceptive, which has me gauge, you know, the distance between my hand and, let's say this, well, you can't see this on camera, but let's say this microphone. Without looking at it, I have an instinctive knowingness what the distance is, so I don't hit it or bump into it. Or if you put your fingers inside, let's say you put your hand in your pocket and you've got a couple quarters, without looking at the quarters, you'll be able to reach out, know that they're quarters, and leave them be. So that's your proprioceptive system. You have your interoceptive system, which has to do with literally your gut and the sensory system of your gut, which is including not only your intestines, but also your stomach. That's why sometimes people will have a really bad gut feeling when something bad is about to happen. That's because the nerves in your gut and your intestines are picking up a few seconds before something bad. And that's why you have a bad gut feeling. Or when you have all of a sudden you have shocking bad news and you feel like your heart is sinking and then you have a bad gut feeling, those are the feelings inside of your body. That's your interoceptive system. Then you have your mechanoceptive system, which has to do with the mechanics of integrating all those different systems. We also have the nociceptive system, which we don't have time to get into today, but we'll talk about at another time. These methods integrate all these neurosomatic systems of the body so that you can resolve and dissolve these any trauma that you have, whether it's physical and or emotional or both. We're going to start off with, and I'm just going to show you this as a little bit of a guide. I won't hold it up throughout the whole thing, but this is called the McPoints method. This is another neurosomatic method that I had again, it's like a divine intuition that comes to me like out of the blue, and I immediately write it down, because if I don't write it down, I know that I'm going to lose it because it's not my idea. And so this is
a little closer to the screen. Perfect. Thank you. That helps.
So the MANIOCULAR technique. Do I have to put the emotions up closer to the screen like that? Would that help also?
I was able to read that. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, just in case, let me put them up just to be on the. So the first four are angry, sad, afraid, and sorry. The next four are frustrated, disappointed, worried, and embarrassed. And then the next four are jealous, hurt, scared, and ashamed. Okay, so now that you've written your four down, the first part of the McPoints method, which is a neurosomatic method that I created, you're going to do the MANIOCULAR technique. We're already familiar with doing 3 sets of 10. You start at the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your eyes looking at your knuckle on your finger, and the only thing that moves are your eyes. So you go as far left and as far right. So we'll do 3 sets of 3. Then we'll do the physiological sighs, 3 sets. You're already familiar with the that's 1 set. So we'll be doing 3 sets of 3. And then if you look at the body, we're doing the MANIOCULAR, which is eyes first. Then we're doing physiological sighs, the nose next. Then ta, ta, ta. So you're going to out loud go ta, 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 ta. 3 sets of ta, ta, ta. And then the last thing is your spinning technique, which is the more elaborate portion of this method. So let me start off by having you guys I want you to look at the 4 emotions that you wrote on your card, on your piece of paper. And then we are going to do the first, the second, and the third part. And then I will guide you through the last part, which is a spinning technique, okay? So let's start off with the MANIOCULAR technique. So ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, pause. That's 3 sets. Next, we're going to do the physiological sighs, 3 sets of 3. Now, 3 sets of 3. Ta ta ta, ta ta ta, ta ta ta. Ta ta ta, ta ta ta, ta ta ta. Ta ta ta, ta ta ta, ta ta ta. Now, the spinning technique. Sit down, relax, make sure that you're at a decent distance away from a desk. If you have a desk, you need to be able to move your hands in front of you because you're going to be using them to spin energy. And I want you to close your eyes. Slow down your breath, slow down your heart rate, slow down your brain waves. Inhale slowly and exhale through the mouth. Another inhale, slow down your breath. Inhale slowly. Slow down your heart rate. Slow down your brain wave. And exhale. Inhale a third time. Slowly inhale, slowing your breath. Slowing your heart rate. Slowing your brain waves. Hold and exhale. Exhale through your mouth. In a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, deeper and deeper with every beat of your heart, with every breath that you take, you're relaxing from the very top of your head all the way down to your toes. Make believe you are walking into an elevator. You see a golden button. You press the button and the doors open. And as you walk in, you see 3 levels and you push the number 3. And next thing you see and feel and sense your body going down 1 story, boom, down. To a 2nd story, boom, down. To the 3rd story, boom, down. The doors open, swoosh, and you walk out of this elevator into your golden room of opportunity. And in this golden room of opportunity, everything looks bright and shiny in that room. You feel warm. It's the perfect temperature. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just right. And in front of you in the golden room of opportunity, you see a crystal chair. And in front of the crystal chair is a crystal table. And as you go to sit in this crystal chair that is made perfectly for you, you're before this crystal table, and you're aware that above the crystal table is this little box. And in that little box that's just conveniently right above your left hand, you're aware and you realize and recognize that those 4 emotions that you wrote down before we began this process, they're inside that little box. So you're going to touch, you're going to reach out with your left hand and make believe you're touching this little wooden box that's holding those 4 emotions that are in there. Those 4 little emotions, believe it or not, they've caused you so much angst, so much grief, so many feelings that you would rather not have to deal with. And yet all 4 of them fit in this little wooden box. And as you touch it, you don't feel really any kind of kickback, anything negative. You're just in this neutral place of awareness. And more than anything, you feel very, very amused that the 4 emotions fit in this little wooden box. So as you retreat your hand, you now relax with your left hand over your left lap and your right hand over your right lap. And you start to pay attention to where those 4 emotions have been residing in your body. And as you point to where you feel it in your body, you are going to now reach outside of your body to touch those emotions that have gone from inside of your body to now directly in front of you. And they're just this cloud of energy. Now, this energy, it's a mishmash of those 4 emotions. Whatever color you see there, that's perfectly fine. It might be green, it might be red, it might be blue, it may be brown, it could be gray, it could be black, it could be white, it could be gold, it could be silver, it could be a pukey pea green, it could be the color of dark, cement. It doesn't matter. The texture, the color, that's all yours. You just recognize it and you see it and you feel it. And you recognize that that feeling now is not inside of you, it is now outside of you. And as you notice this energy, you reach out with your hands and you're holding the energy in your hands, and you notice and you detect the movement of the energy. For some of you, the energy is moving to the right, like the hands on a clock. For others, the energy is moving forward like the wheels in the car as it moves forward. For some of you, it's moving forward as in like riding a bicycle where the wheels are moving straight ahead of you. Or maybe they're moving backwards, straight behind you. No matter what the direction of that energy is, just take note of it. And I want you to grab the energy, and whatever direction it was moving, you're going to move and spin this energy in the opposite direction. With both hands, you're going to spin it like a disc. Boom, spin it, spin it, spin it. Now your hands are moving back and forth. You're spinning it, boom, 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 like a wheel. Twice the speed, boom, twice the speed, boom, faster, 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 twice the speed, boom, boom, boom. Now, as you continue to witness this speed going faster and faster, you are going to make this energy move so fast that it'll turn into a blur. It will be impossible for it to ever return in the opposite direction. So faster, vroom, 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 infinity times faster, vroom, grab the energy, slam it back into your body. Notice the feeling in your body. Become aware. Recognize the sensation, the vibration, the manifestation of your creation, the buzzing in your feet, the vibration in your legs. Whatever you feel, you can heal. And at this moment, this has all been revealed for you. Now, you may feel waves of heat, you may feel waves of cold, you may just feel waves of moving energy in your body. You may feel nothing at all. No matter what, it doesn't matter. Your body knows exactly what it is that you need to know, what you need to be aware of, what is conscious, what is subconscious. It's all there. Nothing is missing. Everything is there. You are whole. You are complete. Now, in a moment, not yet, but in just a moment, we are going to come back into our conscious awareness when I count to 3, and you're going to feel better, healthier, lighter, and stronger than you ever did before. When I count to 3, you will be awake. 1. You, my friend, are wonderful, and you are one with the one, and very wonderful. 2, you too know that this is your divine birthright. This is your co-creation. This is your time. You've invested the time, and everything is so incredibly in divine timing. And for this, we are all grateful. 3, for every challenge, every problem, every circumstance that you need to overcome from this point forward, you will have 3 solutions, 3 ways to get yourself into a much better place with ease and flow. And that's how this is all going to go. 3, you are awake. Okay. How are you guys feeling?
I feel good.
Okay.
I was going to check out at 10, but that was worth hanging out for, Lillian. I appreciate your hypnosis, meditation, sharing. I think that's awesome. It's great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Well, this is the end of our session. And now I'm going to release you guys to go so that you can do the Go Love 20 meditation on your own in the privacy and comfort of your own homes. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in, turning on to this week's 7th week. for the 90-day heart mate consciousness experiment. All right.
Can I check in real quick, Lillian?
Yes.
I feel all tingly after doing that exercise, but I have a question. I thought we would maybe toss the energy somewhere. I was really surprised when you said, bring it back into us. What is the reasoning for that?
Yeah, so I'm really glad that you asked that question, because if you noticed, I told you to pay attention to the direction in which the energy is moving. So if the energy was moving, let's say to the left, so then you'd be spinning it to the right. It's the opposite direction. So because those are unwanted energies, if we wanted them, we wanted to magnify them, we would magnify them going in the same direction. But because we want to dissipate, I'm just going to pick this card: jealous, hurt, scared, and ashamed. So now I'm dissipating jealousy, hurt, scared, and ashamedness in that energy. And because it's going, twice as fast, twice as fast, twice as fast. And then at the end, we go infinitely faster. So then what happens over the next, you would think it's 24 hours, but it's not. It's on the next 25 hours, those emotions are being dissipated almost to nothingness, so that it's not out of balance where it doesn't have a hold over you. So that's why we do twice as fast, twice as fast, twice as fast. And then at the end, we spin it so fast, it's like infinitely faster. And you're spinning, boom, 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 boom. You grab it and then you slam it back in. And that's why a lot of people will have a thermodynamic response where you'll feel heat. Some people feel electricity. Some people have an undescribable wave of energy. A lot of us I have like the vibration and the tingly in my feet every time I do it. I also get the heat, the thermodynamic response. Some people get the chills or they get electric shock. It's different for everybody, because the energy everybody has a different energetic thumbprint. So it's impossible to predict how your body is going to react. But you may wait, you may feel like yawning for no apparent reason. Some people will start to yawn right away. Yawning is always a sign of an energy shift, believe it or not. You may wake up in the middle of the night, even though you're asleep, and you'll wake up to yawn, or you may wake up tearing. Whatever it is that you're feeling, that's what you're supposed to be feeling, because that energy is spinning now in the opposite direction inside of your body. Your brain has, you've used both your left and your right hand. It's a neurosomatic. There's multiple modalities. There's a neurosomatic practice that's going on here, along with a meditative aspect to it, and like an LP hypnosis. It's all being integrated into one. So your brain is going, okay, yeah, we're going to take down the sadness, the jealousy, the jealous, the hurt, the scared, and the ashamed. We're going to bring that down, because obviously you're instructing yourself to bring that down, because I have, this is a little too much for me in my life, and I want to bring it down. So it'll bring it back down into balance. So that's why we spin it, and then we put it back into we can't leave the energy out. We have to put it back in, but we're putting it back in. Now it's been reset.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, my friends and gems.
Thank you.
Very nice to see you.
You are.
Hi. Have a good week.
Have a great
Aloha.
Aloha.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.